Should a woman be doing a man's job? Oh boy, this has been such a controversial topic. And it's always been a controversial topic. But of course, more so recently, it's come more to the forefront and more into light because of the recent events of the shooting on President Trump. Obviously, if you pay attention to politics at all, we see that they ended up hiring a woman as the leader, head director of the Secret Service, which is a job for protecting, right? Putting your life on the line in order to provide and protect. And of course, they wanted to show the world that they can be all inclusive by throwing women into the mix and allowing women to put their lives on the forefront and protect men who have 30 times more testosterone than them. Okay. Where was I? And obviously, when I found out about this, it was very relevant to me. It struck a chord within me because, here I discuss the biological differences and the brain differences and the communication differences between men and women. So it struck me, and it brought up a lot of just thoughts going through my brain of why it is such a terrible idea for a woman to be doing a man's job such as that, to that high of a position, to that high of a standard, and why we see so much chaos when we try to fit women into a job that God ordered for men to do, which is to provide and protect and put their lives on the line, to sacrifice their bodies. Okay? I mean, in the Bible, it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave up his body for it. Because our bodies as females are so much more valuable than the male body. And it is very clear as to why our bodies are so much more valuable. And that is because we have a womb where we create life. We bring new life into this world. We create human beings in our bodies and give birth. The world, we are the gatekeepers of civilization. The world cannot continue on without women, without women's bodies. That's why they are so sacred and valuable. And that's why the first thing that a culture, a satanic culture, tries to diminish, it tries to brainwash young women and diminish their value and perception of their bodies, because the enemy knows that the female body is the most powerful force on this earth. And so anyways, the problem that we see with a woman being in charge of 8,000 people in the Secret Service, in such an important job as Secret Service of protecting government officials, is because women simply cannot. A woman in charge will never be able to lead and demonstrate and properly coordinate a team of men. It's just not going to. It's not going to happen. Women cannot lead men. They cannot lead men. They cannot control men. Men do not want to learn and follow leadership from women. They don't want to. They're not built for that. We are the weaker vessel. We are the ones to follow a man's leadership and submit to his authority. And so just think of how all of these big, strong, husky men in the Secret Service really view the woman who's in charge of them. The woman who maybe has to show them how to shoot a gun. The woman that's showing them how to protect. How to protect and how to provide. How to be strong when they already intuitively know that. It's already built into them. It's built into their DNA to be providers and protectors. A woman doesn't need to show a man how to be a provider and protector. It's already innately within the male brain to make quicker, more rational decisions. It's already innately in the male brain to be quick to respond and quick to react to big problems, fires, intruders, danger. He doesn't need to be shown by a woman. It's already built into the male brain that they are more interested in guns and fire trucks and fast cars and all of these things that stimulate their testosterone. It doesn't need to be shown by a woman in charge, okay? Women have their place to be in charge. You know how? You know in what area? In event planning. Planning events, planning meetings, speaking, right? We are great public speakers. Teaching. We're great at doing that too. We're great at being communicative and feeling relatable and being inclusive, okay? That's what they were trying to do in Secret Service. Their number one aim was to show. It was not to protect and provide. No, their goal was to be all inclusive and include women in a man's job. And this is absolutely fucking pathetic. This is where we have come in America, where the main focus is no longer providing and protecting and keeping our people alive. But yet, our number one priority is now about being inclusive and not hurting anyone else's feelings. Men don't give a fuck about feelings and doing their fucking job. They don't care about all inclusive, but women do. Because that is how the female brain differs from the male brain. You know, I was watching the hearing of the director of the Secret Service and how she was not answering. She was just kind of dodging all the questions. And everyone in the room was so just, they were so frustrated with her because she was not cooperating in the way that they needed her to. Okay. And I remember I was hearing one of the crazy ladies. Oh my God. She was just emotionally going off at the mouth about, you know, victim and how she feels so strongly about how, you know, people are already saying that women shouldn't be doing a man's job, and how this lady, the Secret Service director, was making them look very bad because they decided to put a woman in charge and she wasn't cooperating. And so it was giving conservatives the right to see that a woman obviously should not be in charge because women are emotional, Women are much less confrontational, and we always have had to be less confrontational because guess what? In all of history, we had to survive, and in order to survive, we had to rely on our peers, on men, on people in our tribes, because we could not survive. Our children could not survive if we were not submissive, yielding, and not non-confrontational. We couldn't survive. We couldn't protect ourselves. Where was I? Oh, yes. This crazy lady that was going off, about the fact that the Secret Service head director was giving little to nothing for the hearing. And that was her argument, was that she was making the conservatives justify their point of why women should not be doing male jobs. And I have so much content on here already about the differences of men and women and how our brains are literally like wired differently, and how the male brain is actually 10% larger than the female brain, because the anatomy of male bodies is obviously larger by far because of the testosterone raging through their veins, marinating in their brains and bodies from the time that they are fetuses. That's their bodies and brains are bigger because they're men, and they are here to protect and provide, okay? To do male jobs that include protecting and providing and serving the community, right? Serving in a protecting and providing way, doing dangerous jobs that women are not willing to do. Do you know why women are not willing to do these jobs? It's because we have an intuitive knowing when we come into this world that we are needed. We already know that we're needed. That's why we don't have to be initiated into our womanhood. But men have to be initiated into their manhood. And I know in the Western world, that's not common anymore. But in cultures outside of the West, men actually still have to go through a series of tests and rituals to initiate themselves into men and give themselves that title that they are men and can go on and to provide and protect for their own families. They have to be initiated into that. They have to be able to show their strength. But us women, we already know that we're needed. We don't need anyone else to tell us that the world needs us here. Of course the world needs us here. The world, civilization cannot continue on without us. We have this powerful life force energy in our wombs where we bring humans into this world. So, if the question again is, should a woman do a man's job? Well, absolutely not. If that title includes Secret Service agent, head of Secret Service. If that title includes pilot, steering a plane. Most women are not willing to do those kinds of jobs. That's why they're male-dominated jobs and careers. That's why they are male-dominating. Because women are not willing to do that. They're not willing to put their lives on the forefront. But men are. Because again, it is wired into their DNA to sacrifice themselves for women and children. If it's a job such as being the head of a journal company or a book publisher, then yes, so be it. Be the woman in charge. Take the man's job. But if it's a job to the degree of having to protect the lives of celebrities, government officials, people that are high up there that are well known and could potentially be threatened or injured or killed. No, that is a man's job. You will never see Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian or Beyonce hire a woman to be their bodyguard when they simply want to go out for coffee or dinner. They're not hiring women to help protect them from the crazy fans and crazy people that could possibly harm them. They're hiring men to do that work. Why? Well, because a woman cannot do a man's job like a man can do a man's job. A man also cannot do a woman's job in the same way that a woman can do a woman's job. Not possible. Just not. Why not? One, men are quicker and more responsive to dangerous situations. Men have the ability in their brain circuitry to make quicker, more rational decisions that are based on logic and ration and protection and not on emotion. Second reason, they are much more willing to sacrifice themselves and put themselves in harm's way or danger in order to protect and provide. Again, with the pilot situation, flying a plane day in and day out, I understand that, it's not likely to die in a plane crash, right? But you're responsible as the pilot to keep all of those people on your plane alive and get them from point A to point B safely. Men feel much more purpose in those kinds of jobs. They're much more testosterone stimulating. Women are not willing to do that. Most women are not willing to do that kind of a scary job. That's an amazing job to have. I mean, I can't even imagine flying a plane up in the air. Having the responsibility on my back to keep all of those people on my flight alive and safe. No, thank you. No, thank you. Anyways, why else shouldn't a woman do a man's job? Because men don't want to take authority and learn how to be protective men from a woman. They'll take her advice and authority if they want to learn how to clean something or need to know how to cook a certain meal. They don't want to take authority from a woman who is training them to be protective or how to shoot a gun or how to be strong and, make quick, rational decisions when the time is appropriate. They don't want to follow instructions and leadership and authority from a woman in that. No. They want to follow that from other men. They need to be listening and looking for counsel in other men, not from a woman. I've already said this. Let me tell you something. My father and my brother are so overprotective sometimes that it's actually almost aggravating. But I don't know where, it doesn't even come from anywhere. I've never gotten myself into trouble. I'm very responsible. I never put myself into dangerous situations. So it's not like it's coming from anywhere except their biological makeup, except their brain. I guess the overall point of this video is to remind you that women need to do women's jobs and men need to stick to men's jobs. And that there are jobs that men and women can work harmoniously together in. That is why there is skills and teachers out there who teach men and women how to communicate with each other. While also recognizing that when it comes to a job as serious as protecting and putting lives on the line and fighting and dangerous situations, that men are the ones that are built for those roles and are ordered to fulfill those roles by God Himself. And you can take all of your liberal feelings about how women can do whatever men can do and just shove it. Because that is absolute buffoonery and stupidity to deny the differences of our biological makeup and our brain circuitry. And I'm done. I don't even know if this was everything that I wanted to cover. I don't even think it was. But I'm going to shut up for now. Because my phone, its storage cannot even handle too much more. If you find this video to be helpful, and you are also a feminine woman who also wants to see men and women back in their proper roles, men being masculine, women being feminine again, and working harmoniously with the opposite sex, then follow this channel, like this, share this, subscribe if you're not already, send me an email or leave a comment down below, or a question if you have a specific question for me. Feel free to reach out to me in any way that you would like. Until the next video, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.